Have you ever felt a knife in your back from those you loved the most? This is a story of betrayal and power that makes your heart race and tears familial bonds to shreds. My name is Emily Carter. I'm 28 years old. I will never forget the day my family tried to take everything from me. They didn't even realize that I had already secured my future long ago. I had always been the responsible child, the one who worked while my younger sister Sophie, who is now 25, lived like an Instagram star. She flaunted designer bags, flew to Europe, and relaxed, while I spent hours in the office helping run the family business. Our father, James Carter, built a boutique hotel chain from scratch. I had been studying the business since I was 16. Emily, you must understand that this business requires sacrifices, my father constantly reminded me. I canceled plans with friends to stay late working through contracts, while Sophie mindlessly spent family money. Your sister is young. Let her enjoy life. She'll mature in time. Our mother, Linda, always defended her. But Sophie never matured. At 25, she still lived with our parents and had never worked a day in her life. The only thing she did was post on social media. Meanwhile, I managed 3 of our most successful hotels, working 12 hours a day. Everything changed 6 months ago when I met Jake, our new financial consultant. He was honest and very straightforward. One day, he came into my office, closed the door, and seriously said, "Emily, I've reviewed the accounts for the past 5 years. Did you know your sister spent over $2 million of company funds?" My vision blurred. He laid several documents on the table. Expenses for travel, designer clothing, extravagant parties. All of this was listed in the reports as marketing expenses. She claims these are investments in her personal brand, Jake explained. That evening, I went to talk to my father about it. His reaction shocked me. "I know, Emily. I approved those expenses myself. $2 million on her personal indulgences." I looked at him in disbelief. "Are you serious, Dad?" He took off his glasses, sighed heavily, and said, "You have your way of investing in the company, and she has hers." That conversation opened my eyes. I had spent so many years working, hoping to earn my father's approval, but now I realized I would never receive it. Jake became the only person I could trust. For several months, we gathered evidence, every expense, every violation, every questionable decision. He helped me understand that I had been the majority shareholder of the company all along. It turned out my father had structured it that way for tax benefits, never expecting I would exercise that power. "Your family treats the company like their personal piggy bank," Jake warned me. But that wasn't the worst of it. He informed me that my father planned to transfer major assets to Sophie, including my home, the home I bought with my own money. They were already preparing the documents for its transfer, but I wasn't going to let that happen. I froze the transaction. "Technically, you bought it with your salary from your company," they said. They claimed it was a corporate gift and could be reassigned to someone else. That night, I couldn't sleep. The home I had worked so hard for, the only place I had created to escape my toxic family, could be taken away with the stroke of a pen. But Jake and I had a plan. The moment of truth arrived on my 28th birthday. My family threw a lavish party at my parents' estate. Everyone was there. My parents, Sophie, aunts, uncles, cousins, even business partners. During the toast, Sophie stood up, holding a crystal champagne glass, likely worth $500. "I have a special announcement," she said, smiling. The room grew silent. "My father has given me the most incredible gift. Emily's house. There was a moment of stunned silence, followed by applause. My mother beamed with pride, and my father avoided my gaze. "Isn't it wonderful?" Sophie continued. "Emily is always lost in her work, and she really doesn't need such a big house. I will find a better use for it." I slowly stood up. My heart was racing, but my mind was crystal clear. "You're right, Sophie. I am indeed too busy at the office." I opened my purse and pulled out a folder. "Since we're making announcements, I have one too." The room fell into silence. All eyes turned to me. Sophie was still smiling, unaware of what awaited her. She thought it was just a formality, a minor corporate announcement. "I have some significant updates concerning our company, Carter Boutique Hotels. First, from this moment, all personal expenses will require board of directors approval, not just the president's signature." Sophie's smile faltered. My father suddenly sat up straighter. "Second, I have initiated a full audit of the company's financial reports for the last 5 years. I looked directly into my sister's eyes. "Including all marketing expenses related to social media." "Emily," began my father, his voice tense, "now is not the time or place." "Not the time or place," I retorted. "Didn't you use my birthday to announce you're giving my house to Sophie?" I turned to our guests, our business partners, board members. "The house I bought with my salary after many years of work." On the other side of the room, Jake stood up. He began handing out folders to the board members. "In these folders," I announced, "are the proofs of misappropriation of corporate funds exceeding $2 million. A whisper ran through the hall. Personal expenses disguised as marketing, luxurious vacations billed as business trips, designer purchases recorded as market research. Sophie went pale. "This is ridiculous," she muttered. "Dad approved all these expenses. I'm the face of the brand." "The face of the brand?" I repeated, pressing a button on the control panel. On a large screen in front of the guests, a slideshow appeared. Instagram photos of Sophie vacationing in the Maldives, paid for by the company, shopping in Paris. "How do you like my new purse?" Bought as marketing expenses, an elite birthday party fully funded by corporate finance. The room was dead silent. "Let's see. Parties are marketing expenses, designer bags are market research." The slideshow of Sophie's Instagram continued on the screen. My mother abruptly stood up. Her face was flushed with anger. "Emily, how dare you humiliate your sister like this?" I met her gaze, unwavering. "Just as you tried to humiliate me by taking away my house on my own birthday." My father intervened, trying to regain control of the situation. "This is a family matter." His voice sounded authoritative. "I ask all non-family members to leave the room." But Jake interrupted him. Now he was acting not just as my friend, but as a financial consultant to the company. "I'm afraid that's not possible, since this concerns potential corporate fraud. Board members have not only the right, but the obligation to be present." Chaos. The next few minutes turned into utter chaos. Sophie burst into tears, insisting it was just a misunderstanding. "Dad, tell them! It's all a mistake!" she cried out, turning to my father. But James Carter, my father, sat with his head bowed, his face pale and his hands trembling. He no longer looked like the confident man who once ran an empire. Linda, my mother, tried to comfort Sophie, but her voice was trembling with anger and fear. "Emily, you are tearing our family apart!" she exclaimed, her eyes blazing with fury. "No, Mom," I replied coldly. "You destroyed it when you decided my dedication and work counted for nothing." "Jake, standing by my side, quietly said, "Emily, it's time to move forward." I nodded and continued. "First, the transfer of my house to Sophie is blocked. Second, I filed an injunction preventing any corporate real estate transactions without full board approval." My father abruptly lifted his head. "You can't do this!" His voice trembled. "I can," I replied, looking him directly in the eyes. "I'm the primary shareholder, Dad. Remember? You structured the company this way years ago for tax benefits." His jaw clenched. "That was just a formality," he muttered. "It's a reality now," I countered. Sophie, still sobbing, suddenly jumped from her seat and rushed towards me. "You're just jealous! You've always been jealous of me!" Her voice was full of hatred. Jake was instantly between us. "Careful, Sophie. Assaulting a corporate officer during an official meeting is a serious offense with legal consequences." She froze, her fists clenched, but she didn't dare to come closer. "You're awful, Emily! I hate you!" she shouted. I chuckled briefly. "Jealous? Jealous of you never working a day in your life? Jealous of you spending millions on parties while I was building this company? No, Sophie. I'm not jealous. I just won't let you ruin what I've built anymore." My father struck the table with his palm forcefully. "Emily, if you continue this, you will destroy our family." "No, Dad." I looked at him with cold determination. "You did that. You destroyed this family when you decided hard work meant nothing, that my dedication was worth less than Sophie's selfies." A heavy silence hung over the room. The board members exchanged glances, with some already starting to make notes in their folders. I knew this was my moment. As CEO and primary shareholder, I propose immediate actions. First, all personal expense accounts are frozen until further notice. Second, an external audit of all financial transactions will be conducted for full transparency. Third, the company's senior management will be restructured. My mother rose again. "You can't just toss us out." "I haven't tossed anyone out," I replied calmly. "This is a decision of the board." I looked around the room. Who supports this decision? First, one hand went up, then another, and another, and another. The decision was clear. My father seemed to shrink in his chair. His face was pale, and his eyes were filled with hopelessness. "Emily, please," he said softly, almost whispering. "We can resolve this peacefully." "No, Dad," I said firmly. "It will be resolved here and now." Sophie, still standing nearby, suddenly fell to her knees. "Emily, please!" Her voice trembled. "We are sisters. We are family. How can you do this to us?" For the first time that evening, my voice faltered. "Family?" I repeated the word in near disbelief. "Where was family when I worked weekends while you were drinking and dancing? Where was family when I canceled vacations 3 years in a row to save the Barcelona hotel from bankruptcy? Where was family when you decided my house was just another asset that could be gifted?" The silence was deafening. Jake placed another stack of documents on the table. "We need to discuss one more thing," he said. My father suddenly paled. "Please stop," he muttered. But I wasn't going to stop. Why? Because now everyone knows the truth? Because the board finally sees what was happening behind closed doors? Because your plan to use this company as a personal piggy bank failed? Tears streamed down my mother's face. "Everything we did for the family." Her voice trembled. "No," I shook my head. "You did it for yourself. Because it was easier to give Sophie everything she wanted than teach her to be independent. Because it was simpler to use the company's money than earn it honestly. Because it was more convenient to ignore the problem than actually solve it." A heavy silence filled the room. The following days were tough. The audit revealed even more financial misdeeds than we thought. Sophie didn't just spend $2 million, she squandered almost $3 million. Luxurious vacations disguised as business trips, designer shopping billed as marketing research, extravagant parties recorded as brand engagement expenses. And my parents? They had hidden personal accounts that the company had been funding for years. The board didn't wait. They unanimously voted in favor of my reforms. Strict financial controls were implemented. Now nobody, neither family nor anyone else, could abuse the company's funds anymore. Sophie lost her status as the face of the brand. A few days later, she stormed into my office. "What the hell am I supposed to do now? You ruined my life!" Her face was red with rage. "There's an entry-level position available in the marketing department," I replied calmly. "Pay is standard. You can start from scratch, like I did once." Her face twisted in anger. "You're horrible! I hate you!" "No, Sophie." I looked her straight in the eyes. "I'm the only one who truly cares about your future." Eventually, my parents accepted the new reality. My father resisted for a long time, but after several months, he finally admitted, "You built this company out of nothing, but you turned it into something greater, something that will exist even after us." My mother, seeing Sophie finally working, actually working, changed. "Maybe we were too soft on her," she quietly confessed one day. Sophie found purpose. Now she doesn't just look good in photos, but actually works. I still live in my home. It's not just walls and a roof, it's a symbol of my independence. But most importantly, I now run this company with the professionalism it always needed, and I have no regrets. Did you like the story? Write your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next interesting story. See you tomorrow.